Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to have a little short discussion with you guys today over a topic that comes up a lot in like comment sections or like when I do a Q&A. I actually haven't done a Q&A on here. That's what I need to do is a Q&A on here. If you guys have questions for a Q&A, leave it in the comment section below, but like pertaining to books, okay? And I will do either Saturday or Sunday a bookish Q&A. So leave it below. Leave it below and I'll do I don't know if I've ever done a bookish Q&A on here. I've done several Q&As on my main channel, but on here I don't think I've done a lot of Q&As. But anyway, one of the questions I get asked a lot is that like and it comes up in tags a lot too. What books am I embarrassed to admit reading, right? And I literally just said this the other day in a tag video. I said, I'm never embarrassed to read a book. Reading's reading. You shouldn't be embarrassed of what you're reading or whatever. But have you ever been embarrassed to buy a book? Okay, so this happened to me today. I went into Half Price Books, and you know, I have so many books right now that I haven't read that I don't have anything that I was purposely looking for. And I'm going to tell a story at the end that will tell you what I ended up getting, so I don't want to ruin it, because there was a reason why I kind of went in there. I was just going to look at this book. Somebody had mentioned a book Somebody had mentioned a book to me, and I was going to just kind of like stroll through, pick it up, see what I thought, and be like, maybe, right? And it was a book that I already knew the author very, very well, and it's not something that I invest my money into. I probably wouldn't even read it if somebody gave me the money or gave me the books. But it's also somebody that I've read a lot of before. Do you know what I'm talking about? James Patterson. So, well, I'll just tell you what happened. So I was going to the post office, and I was coming out, and I saw a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in a long time. And she and I used to always talk about books, right? Well, she reads a lot of just, you know, like what's really trendy, of the moment. And she always the newest Stephen King book, always the newest James Patterson book, and all that kind of stuff. And I said, oh, what have you been reading? And she said, well, I just read a really good book. She goes, but I know you don't like James Patterson. Now, let me tell you my history with James Patterson. Back in the day, and I've talked a lot about this on here, when I got out of college and I started working, just like a robot. When I got out of high school, or out of college and I started working, I would read just like pulp novels, mysteries, David Baldacci, James Patterson, all that kind of stuff, because I just wanted something to take me out of my mind, something that was enjoyable, something that wasn't super deep, right? And so the first couple books of his I read, since I have it right here, I will tell you. It was like Kiss the Girls, the very, very first ones. You guys know what I'm talking about. They don't even have them listed on here because they're so old. Kiss the Girls and all of those. I cannot believe they don't have every book of his written in here. But back in the day, Kiss the Girls, All the Pretty Spiders, All the Pretty Spiders, All the Spiders, something, all the this, I don't know. Those first three books of his were fantastic. And I think that he totally sat down, wrote those. I don't think there was any system or formula to it. I think that was just him. And you can tell such a difference over time. But he's one of those writers that once you kind of fall in love with the character, the detective, Alex Cross, you want to read everything by him. And then years later, I read the one about the women detectives and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I really stopped reading James Patterson over a while because at any given time, if you go to Target, Barnes & Noble, in those places, I mean, he has saturated the market, right? He has any given time, 2 middle grade books out, a young adult book out, you know, probably a picture book for infants at this point, you know, 2 mysteries, a love story. I mean, there's always 7 James Patterson novels out at any given time. And at this point, we always know that it's him and somebody else. I also have read articles about how he has a team of people that work for him. It's very much like a writing business. It's not so much like he is the author anymore. And people come to him with scripts of what they want to have their book be about, and he approves and doesn't approve, and they have meetings about it and things like that, and that person writes it. There's a formula for everything he does. He teaches workshops on it. I mean, this is truth. It's out there. You can go read it. I'm not making this up. And so I just, you know, it's kind of lost interest to me over time. And last year, I read Zoo because it was being made into a miniseries and I wanted to watch the miniseries. The book was so bad, you guys. I literally could hardly get through it. It took me 6 months, and I just would pick it up here and there and read 2 pages. So I'm at the post office and I run into this woman that I'm friends with and I said, oh, well, you know what? And she's like, I just read this really great book. She's like, but it's by James Patterson. I know you don't like James Patterson. And I was like, well, what is it? And she said, it's The Quickie by James Patterson. And she's like, but it's really good. She's like, I read all of his stuff. She's like, most of it is really bad, but I just tear right through it. And I'm like, why do you read books that you know are going to be bad when there's so many books out there that are like incredible, right? She's like, they're just quick reads. I just love them. They're just quick reads. And I know a lot of people love James Patterson, and hey, like what you like, right? So anyway, I went to Half Price Books. Have you guys seen the James Patterson section at Half Price Books? I didn't even go to the paperbacks. I could have got this for cheaper. I'm so mad now. I paid $7.49. Well, I do like the bigger paperbacks like this, but I paid $7.49 in the paperbacks. I'm sure they would have had it. They probably have an entire section just dedicated to this man. So I went to the mystery section. He literally, you guys, has like an entire bookcase just of his books. It's crazy town, right? So I like got this book, and I had already gone through the young adult books, and I was going to buy Renegades by Marissa Meyer, but I think I might listen to it on Audible. And then I was going to buy Warcross by Marie Lu, but I wanted to see some of the reviews first before I read it. And there were like 4 or 5 books that I was going to get. Oh, I just put one. Oh, I don't have my phone. But I just put one. The Whiz Mob and something. Has anybody read this book about the kid in France that wants to be an investigator? Anyway, so I almost got that. There was like 4 or 5 books that I almost got. But I had this in my hand. And the whole time, I'm like, as I'm walking, I'm like holding it real close to my side. Like, I don't want anybody to see. I'm a booktuber, damn it. I knew this would be the day that somebody would walk into me and be like, aren't you Peter from Peter Likes Book? But that didn't happen. It never happens. But anyway, I'd be like, no, that's not me. But anyway, so I took it up to the register, and of course, you know, there's like 4 cash registers open because there's so many people that have Price Books on a Friday night. And the one cute guy is open, and he goes, come here. I'm like, look, he was cute, okay? I have a husband, but just because the restaurant's closed doesn't mean you can't look at the menu. So anyway, so I took it up to him, and I was like, I put it down this way, and he like turned it over. This is true story. This is what happened. So here's the price tag, okay? It's on the front. So I cover it, I put it down like that, and I push it over, and he like looks down at the book, and he like turns it up, and he scans it, and looks up at me, and he goes, $8.18. Like, I'm so ashamed I buy the James Patterson book. I almost wanted to go, it's for my grandma. I don't even have a grandma alive anymore. It's for my grandma. So anyway, but not until that moment had I really been embarrassed of like buying or talking about reading a book. Like, I really don't read anything that I'm embarrassed by. You know, you would think at 45, the most embarrassing thing with me would be that I read like almost all young adult, but I don't even give a rat's ass about that. I read what I want to read, right? But not until this moment was I embarrassed. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. Do you guys ever get embarrassed about stuff that you read, or will you not admit it? My grandma back in the day, she loved those Harlequin novels, and she was not ashamed of it, okay? I mean, she always had them. She would like do this to them, and she would always have them like sitting on like the couch, you know, like that on the side over here with her like pack of Salem lights, her lighter, her Zippo lighter, and a cup of coffee. My cousin Caroline and I would talk about that all the time. She's always like, do you remember Grandma always had those Harlequin novels? She went through them like crazy. I don't think my grandma had a relationship for like the last 30 years of her life. So she was living through the Harlequins. But she wasn't embarrassed of it. Reading was reading, you know? And so I think it's interesting, like, my friend Tanya is the same way. She reads anything. She reads like a lot of the free books on Kindle. And I'm always like, well, aren't you kind of like, why would you read that? She's like, who cares? It's a good book. It's free. Why would you care? So anyway, I don't think it really matters. I don't know. But like, I went through that today, and I thought, you say that in your videos, but then you got super embarrassed today. What's that about? So I thought that would be kind of a fun video to make. Do you guys ever, do you notice me over here? I'm getting nervous talking about it, so I'm like playing with. Do you guys ever get nervous, or do you ever get embarrassed talking about books that you've read, or are there books that you don't claim? Has there ever been a book that you don't claim? Now's the moment you have to claim it. Put it in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.